Hi friends! I just wanted to take 25 seconds to do a small meditation, collect my thoughts, and ground myself. Feel free to join in with me. Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have kind of taken a little bit of a break and I'm starting to understand more of why that is, which brings me to this video to you today. I have just noticed this pattern in myself, in my life, and I don't really feel like this is talked about enough, as I haven't come across people who talk about what I'm about to talk about. So I'm just going off of my personal experience and what it looks like for me. That could definitely look different for you or other people that you know. But I'm here today to talk to you about seasonal depression. I went through a time in my life where I was depressed, and that wasn't based off of the seasons and the time of the year and the things that I was able to do with myself. That was just a place that I was in. It was a very, very dark place. And the things that make me feel alive and the things that bring a lot of joy to my life and help me are adventures, traveling, time outside in the sun, nature, just being able to ground myself in those places. And the winter brings a lot of hibernating for me. I do not like the cold. I want to be inside all the time. Usually that's when I really want to travel, because I want that warmth and that time by the water and the beach, and surrounded by so many trees. And this might resonate with you, and you might not even know it. And if it doesn't, that's totally okay. You can stay to listen and just kind of hear my story. But the cold comes around and my time outside has decreased, and being inside and being confined to a space really brings more thoughts about, and allows me to think a lot more than I would normally, due to the fact that when I'm out in nature, having adventures, traveling, like, I'm very present and I'm living in the moment, and I'm so, like, again, I feel so alive. And connecting to nature is something that I have always experienced growing up. Being outside was so thriving for me, and I just hated to be inside. I did not like to be feel stuck. I love being home and I love spending time doing things at home and just chilling and relaxing, but to not really have the option to go outside is kind of where that brings me to how I've been feeling. And this is a recurring thing that happens year after year after year, and I'm just starting to become aware of this now in my life. And as I have seen this pattern, it's really allowed me to acknowledge and accept what I'm going through, and that it's okay, and that I just need to be gentle with myself and really allow myself to feel the things that I'm feeling, and really allow myself to just be with whatever it is that I'm feeling, but not to get consumed by it or overwhelmed by it, because that is where, you know, you dig your hole deeper. And I remember when I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, I was in such a dark hole. Like, I didn't even know how to dig myself out. And after, you know, a few years of medication and, you know, acknowledging and accepting and living the experience that I did, I felt, you know, like I had slowly dug myself out, and I started to gain tools and learn how I can cope better with what I'm dealing with. And so the past few months, especially, like, I've noticed, again, I just feel really disconnected to like the outside world. And of course, really, it sucks, but COVID has not made that any better. Just because, you know, even just going out and going inside of another building, like, that's not even possible. And that was for a little bit, but currently right now it's not. And, you know, this really takes a toll on people's mental health, because community and support is a really big part of people's healing and people's journeys, and being able to feel like you're not alone, and being able to be surrounded by those people. Yes, we have Zooms and we have other ways of connecting and communicating with our friends and family, and that's so amazing, and I'm so glad and thankful for that. But there's definitely a huge difference between sharing your energy with somebody in person versus over the phone, and just really feeling that human connection. And so I, you know, have realized and seen this pattern of mine of sitting in my room and wanting to do all these things, and wanting to still to get things done and be productive and work towards my goals and focus on myself. And the intention is there 100%, but the actual action behind that has decreased, because I'm so in my head that my thoughts end up consuming me, and then I have no energy to actually give to myself. And this is like a huge revelation for me, because I have, you know, seen this pattern but not really known what the root, like where it came from and why I was feeling this way. And truthfully, like, there's such a huge difference within my mind and my body in the summer versus the winter. And usually around January, that's when it really hits me, because it's already been a few months. The holidays have passed, you know, you're kind of busy mentally and physically when it comes to Christmas and the holidays, and you're doing so many things and going out and buying presents or buying things online, so you're keeping yourself occupied. And I found that actually helped me, and I had so much fun this year buying gifts. In the past, it used to be very stressful for me, and this year I really was very into it. And it's not the actual like purchasing of gifts, it's the choice of gifts that like stresses me out. I'm like, I don't know what to get anybody. So that's really where that comes from. But this year I had so much fun. It was great. And so, you know, January rolls around, and, you know, you've been in this place for a long time, or I've been in this place for, you know, a few months already, and it just kind of catches up to you. And, you know, I'm understanding that like the more that I give energy to the thoughts, whether they're real or not, the less energy that I have to give myself. And I can still try my best and still give to myself, even if I can't go on these adventures and connect with nature as much. I still go on walks, but it's a dreadful thing, to be honest. I do not like the cold. I hate being out in the cold, and the minute that I'm like frozen, I just want to go back inside. So I definitely do try, but my time outside is minimized more than I used to spend hours outside, and now I spend maybe 20 to 30 minutes outside. Don't get me wrong, that for sure helps. Walking is so good for the soul, and I think that you know, everybody should walk at least once a day. And I do, and that's great. And I'm so glad that I still have, you know, the ability to be able to do that. I can move my legs, I can go outside, I can leave my house, I can still be protected from the cold, I have warm clothing, and so those are all things to be grateful for, and I'm so glad. I just definitely see the difference in the seasons. And you know, you say depression, like people say depression, and all of a sudden it's like this person just like doesn't want to live, and they don't want to you know, they're not happy ever. And I think that we need to break that stigma, because yes, that is true. That can absolutely be someone's situation, like the way that someone is feeling and how they feel about their life, because I've been there, and I genuinely just I wanted the life that I knew at that moment to be over. I wanted to start living life, not surviving through life. So I totally agree with, and like think that everybody has their own like depression doesn't look one way. It doesn't look, and that's the stigma I want to break. I don't want people to think that they're, you know, because they don't fit this mold of what other people might think it looks like, that it's not that. I'm still very happy with my life, and I'm still such a bubbly, energetic, loving person, and you know, I'm not just wanting my life to just end, but that is the case for some people. And like I said, I've been there. And so first of all, I just want you to know that if you are in that place, you're not alone, and you are so loved, you are so supported, and you are meant to be here for a reason. And I hope that whatever it is you're going through, that you can get through it, and that you find support and resources and tools around you. And you know, this moment right now is not forever, and it will get better, and you are so amazing for continuing to push and continuing to try and giving this life your all, because it is a very hard and difficult journey. Yeah, I want you to know that you are so loved, and I'm here for you. And so yeah, I just, you know, it doesn't necessarily look the same that it did for me previously when I was depressed 365. But I definitely see that decline in my mental health, and the thoughts really do consume you. So it's just, and it's been like, I've been so drained, and I've been so just not wanting to do anything. Like it got to a point where last week, like I didn't even want to take care of myself in certain ways, because I literally had no energy or no desire to really do a lot of the things that are just normal things to do, that everybody does. And that's what that looks like, you know, when our mental health is declining in any way, shape, or form. The littlest of tasks seem so overwhelming, they seem so dreadful, and they are just, it's like, you know, you actually start to believe like the thoughts that you're thinking, and giving more energy to them will continue to allow them to grow. And so I'm here today to tell you that, and to just share my story, but also to tell you that, you know, it's okay if you do find yourself in these situations, and you know, just bring yourself back to the present moment. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. Maybe you just need to let out how you're feeling. Maybe, you know, if you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody, even journaling your thoughts, and just seeing on paper how you really feel is really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's really eye-opening to see what you actually think, and to read your thoughts on paper, because sometimes you're like, wow, this is like absurd what I'm thinking, but also you're like, wow, I actually think these things, and you're able to validate that for yourself. And you know, because sometimes I've written things down, and I'm just like, whoa, like I think this, like I can't believe I think these things about myself. And then I'm actually able to validate my feelings in that moment because I'm like, wow, like I think these. So it's like almost like I'm shocked and I'm shook at the fact that I think these things, but then I'm like, wow, okay, Alyssa, like I'm here for you. I see you, and I see the pain that you're going through, and I want to be here for you. And truthfully, you know, we think that we need to look for these things in outside sources, and usually anything that we think we need from an external source is something that we can find internally. We just have to be really gentle, give yourself compassion, give yourself so much love and kindness, and just let yourself, remind yourself, tell yourself in front of the mirror and say, I am here for you and I love you and we're gonna get through this together. The power behind your words, the power behind your intention is going to come through, and it's going to be felt. You're going to feel yourself feeling those things, because speaking it to yourself is like a whole different thing than just thinking it in your head. So if you find yourself, you know, going through these emotions and you're just this ball of thoughts, that's something that's really helped me, is talking to somebody and journaling. And then, you know, from there you're able, you've released it, you let it out of your mind, and you're now like, you can bring yourself back to like the present moment and be like, okay, what do I want to do right now? Do I want to rest? Do I want to read? Do I want to shower? Do I want to walk? Do I want to watch a movie? Do I want to paint? Do I want to knit? Like whatever it is that you like to do. Do I want to go work out? Do I want to you know, go ride my motorcycle? Whatever that looks like for you. I don't have a motorcycle, by the way, but whatever that is. I'm funny. I make myself laugh anyways. Whatever that looks like to you, because everybody has different things that light them up and make them feel so good. And I know that I have so many other things that make me feel good rather than, you know, being outside. But that disconnection is very hard for me, you could say. And like I said, you know, there is still ways to find that. I'm not saying there isn't, because I've definitely still made the effort to go out into nature. It just looks a lot different and it doesn't feel the same. And then, you know, lack of sunlight, this just happens to us. More people go through this than you'd think, but lack of sunlight is really hard on the body. And I'm speaking to myself when I say this, because I do not do this, but like vitamin D drops will probably do wonders, and I need to get on this train because I do not take anything to help myself. And I'm acknowledging that and accepting that and owning that, because we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. There is no definition of perfect in my mind, because I don't know what that looks like, and we're all just our own unique, authentic selves, and we don't always do the things that we know that we need to do to help ourselves. So that is totally okay. And if you find yourself in a situation where, you know what you need to do and you're still not doing it, it happens. It is a part of growing. It's a part of healing. It is a part of being a human being. And you know, aren't always gonna like take action as soon as you know the thing that you need to do. And some people do, and that kudos to you if you're that person, and some people don't. And if you are that person, that is totally okay. Like, everything is something, like, there's always room for growth. There's always a way to own things to yourself and really allow yourself to be like, okay, this is what I need to do, and I'm still not doing it. And, you know, I think I've had enough now, and I'm gonna go and do that thing. Also, like, if anybody else has any suggestions on other ways to help, that they help themselves, in terms of feeling a lot different throughout the winter months than the summer months, I would love to hear your suggestions, and I'm sure the other viewers would also love to hear that. So if you have anything that you want to share, I always leave space and the openness for everybody to voice what they want to voice. And also, if you want to share your own experience, whatever it might be, if you have questions, feel free to drop them down below, and I can always do a video answering them as well. But yeah, I think that's all I have. I just really wanted to bring some awareness to that, and bring those just bring some tools and some support, because support goes a really long way, and that is what I want to do in my life, is to help other people. And if, you know, this is the way that I want to do it, being able to just connect with anybody and everybody. And I know that it's really hard to just see what you're going through and accept it, and you know that could take a long time too, and that's totally okay. So you know, we acknowledge, we accept, we embrace, we take action, and we try our best to follow through with the action, because or we plan the action, sorry, and then we take action. And all those steps take a lot of time, and just do this at your own pace. Take your time. Give yourself so much grace and compassion and love, and just know that you're not alone and you're so supported, and there's a huge community out there that also supports you. So give this video a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. I love you so much, and I hope you have a great day.